All right. Sorry I had to start a few minutes late. We started almost an hour later than we normally do, but it's one of those days. Let's go here. Let me get my headphones on so I can hear myself. All right. We are settled. Yeah, I was in a meeting. So that went over. Started a little bit later than expected and went over a little bit more than expected. And so hence my tardiness today, but good to be here on another Thursday live stream. As per usual, got from the title, you can see we got a few updates coming up on the channel. And as far as content goes, we're doing ThropX updates as well. And it's going to be a chill one today. Going to be pretty chill. We don't got a tremendous amount on the agenda, but definitely want to touch base. And we can, I think I have a few articles actually. Yeah, I do have a few articles here. We can figure out see if we want to go through them or not. But let me know. I wanted to go through at least one because this came up a few times on the channel. So so we'll go through one article. So it's a finance article. Of course, let me know where you are chiming in from, what city, what state, what country. Always like to hear that. Always like to hear from where everybody is all over the world. And we are going to, where should we start? Let's start. Looking at my agenda here. Let's start with the updates on content that we got coming out on the channel, and I'll hop over to the comment section shortly. But we have, and I've been promising this for a while. It was supposed to start last Saturday, but it's going to start this Saturday. But we actually been shooting a tremendous amount of podcasts, and we have been taking our time and editing them and putting them together. And in terms of the guests that we have coming on, as we always do, like we're focusing on value and bringing as much as possible in respect to moving to and investing in Jamaica. That's pretty much the gist of this community, or at least a main pillar of it. And I think we've done a good job in respect to the content and respect to the guests that we have coming on board. And this first one that we have on Saturday, that was supposed to be last Saturday, is we have Maura Watson, and she is a realtor. And I'm actually going to show you guys the cold open that we have. And I guess since we're here, give me some feedback on it and we can take it from there. So this one is talking about the real estate market in Jamaica, but like very, very specific to Negril, very, very specific to Western and Southern Jamaica. So she's based in White House, which is on the South Coast. And she is one of the main realtors for Negril as well. We are working on a property together to sell that was in our email. I think the last email or the email before that, our newsletter, two newsletters ago, we talked about Somewhere West being sold, and she is one of the realtors that's selling that. And that property is going for $1.8 million. That's Deep West End. And that's our first property that we're working together on. But in the podcast, she gives out like a tremendous amount of information about real estate deals that are happening in Negril. Very super boots on the ground. Like she is so in the mix and she has so much information about it. Let me show you I'll show you the cold opening. Hopefully it's loaded up. And then I can kind of go into a little bit more details. 25 seconds. We could watch it real quick.
I'm seeing a lot of international investors coming in. I have a group, Italian group, and they have 10 hotels in the DR in Mexico, and now they're going to have one in Jamaica. They were approved for 800 rooms in Green Island. I sold them which was over 70 acres. We have aqueducts. You can still get something around 200. Point Village, 180 for a studio. But a few years ago, you could get a studio for $50,000. So the prices have really jumped.
Yeah, and that's, I would say, a pretty accurate synopsis of what is discussed in that podcast. And the theme continues to be, you know, say whatever, whatever your opinion is, or however you feel about it is completely fair. And perhaps this is something that we can continue to talk about, maybe today, maybe even on the live stream on Sunday. But there is just a tremendous amount of foreign investment coming into Jamaica. And I have a couple of, I don't want to play them because it's not it's not royalty free music, but I put up a couple of, I'm just going to show them to you on my phone. And if you haven't seen them, I would ask you check it out, let me know what you think. So there are a couple of shorts that I created, and the most recent one is doing very well. Hold on, I don't want to show it. I'm just gonna. All right, so let me turn the volume down. And so I created this short talking about the increased real estate investment, or foreign investment coming into Jamaica. And what I'm realizing is, like, the more, and like, I don't even consider this controversial, but the more controversial a topic is or a short is, the better it does and the better engagement that there is. And I mean, it sounds super obvious. People are going to say stuff about it. They're going to weigh in, but the overwhelming comments that I'm seeing on this short in particular, I'm going to play it without the sound. I'll narrate it. Oh, there's actually caption there. But anyway, I'll narrate it quickly. But the overwhelming feedback that I'm getting is just like, and we talk about this all the time, is like, what about the average Jamaican? What about the poor people? The rich keep getting richer, the poor keeps getting poorer. And it's a valid concern. And I didn't necessarily think that was going to be the overwhelming comments that I'd be seeing. I was more so presenting like presenting it in a way that, hey, this is happening and I'm passing on information that you may not be aware of. And if this is something that you're considering investing in, hey, you should probably do it now. And as you'll see in the Mora interview that we're releasing on Saturday, these prices are continuing to go up. And so it's more of an awareness standpoint. And I'm also getting flack, like I'm the one that's making this happen. And like I don't take this to heart in any way, but I understand the frustration of the people making these comments. But they're what would I say, projecting their frustrations on me as if I'm the one who caused this, or I am somehow a part of this and making this happen. But all I'm doing is presenting the factual information. And there's also an element of denial as well, as if this is not happening or this is untrue. And people are saying this from the perspective of, oh, the crime is too high, so this can't be happening. But I'm telling you that in spite of the crime being high, or whatever visual or whatever you have in your mind, in terms of how you think about Jamaica, this is happening. And it's just presenting facts. So anyway, let me show you to you, like, playing without sound, and I'll narrate as best as I can, if we can focus there. Okay. It's bleeding. But if you know the short, you know the short. This is the short that I'm referring to. It's the last short that I did. You can take a look at it if you'd like. But again, I'm basically just talking about, this is terrible. It's not working too well. But basically, again, just specifically talking about happenings that are going on in the grill. And it's taken a clip taken from the podcast interview that I did with Matthew Wallace from Matthews and Scotch Boys. And I did another one a little bit earlier this year, a few months ago, with Noel, and like this one, if you're familiar with it, and it's the same sentiment, right? Is this, people are like, rich keep getting richer, poor keep getting poorer, and there's also an element of disbelief that this is happening. And again, my purpose in bringing this information is just presenting information more than anything else. And it's a question I think that I want to continue to explore within this community. But at the end of the day, I think it's just so important that the average person knows about these things. And of course, the average diasporian, if that's how you say it, who is considering moving back to Jamaica or investing in Jamaica or doing Airbnb down here, or maybe a small development, that you are aware of these trends that are happening in Jamaica and particularly in Negril. And so anyway, long story short, like Maura in the podcast that we just watched, I'll show it again in a little bit for those people who are just joining. But in the podcast, she really goes through like all these deals that she personally, she lists them. She's very transparent. She sold this to this person for this millions of dollars, that to that person for this amount of money, blah, 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 blah. And I think people are really going to appreciate how straightforward and open she is with real estate deals that she's recently done in the past. And she talks about also other deals that are in the pipeline. And she's like a living, breathing example of the momentum that is happening on this, I would say, on this side of the island. And she's very informed about other deals that are happening on other parts of the island as well. So she brings great context to the deal flow that she has been privy to. And it's just, as I continue to say, this is just a very interesting time for Jamaica. I think it's a very, very interesting time for Negril, and as particularly, and don't get me wrong, this thing is not like this is tomorrow, this is going to happen. It's just, it's going to be a very different place, I would say, even in 3 years, and definitely in 5 years. Negril particularly is going to be a very, very different place for many, many reasons, And I would like more than anything else for this community to be a part of that. And it's also such a, in a way, it's in a phase, and always has been, in a phase of just not having this very big vision developmental plan. And I feel like a lot of there's an opportunity for quote unquote small guys to be a part of the development or the ideation of the development of a small community. And because that's kind of what it is right now. Anyway, let's hop over to the comments real quick and hear where everybody is from. Hello, Nadine. Thanks for chiming in. Hi, Donna. Happy Thursday to you as well. Salute to you as well, Charles, chiming in from Nassau, Bahamas. Nadine is in Huntsville. Is that Alabama? Let me, I'm not sure. Let me know. Please correct me if I'm wrong. Michael chiming in from Jersey, and Donna's, of course, in Ottawa, Canada. Hey, Shayna. Thank you for hitting the like. Always appreciate that, Shayna. Always appreciate the support. Leon, what's going on? Sunfest Nation. Sunfest is next. Is it this weekend? It's this weekend, right? I believe, Leon. He's in Montego Bay. What's going on, Mark? Greetings, ThropX family, hailing from Jamaica. Awesome. Good to see you, Mark. What's going on, Raymond? Thanks for chiming in. And N says, hi, Throp. Appreciate you bringing this great info to the various communities. I also feel so close to home watching your videos and podcasts. Thank you so much. Alabama. Okay, good. I got it right. Hey, Suzette, what's going on? Nice to see you. Jen is chiming in from Alberta, Canada. EB1. Hey, good to see you. Thanks for joining. All right. Also, quick announcement. I'll mention this on Sunday as well. So we're going to be next week. We're not going to be doing Thursday. I'm actually going on a trip on Thursday. So we're going to do Wednesday instead, and there will be no Sunday live stream. We'll figure out how we can, I can give that back to you at some point, but due to my trip, I will not be able to stream on Sunday, but we will do it, the Thursday live stream on Wednesday instead. I'll remind everybody on Sunday as well, but just want to let you all know. Miss Cole, what's going on? Good to see you. Hi, Marie. Thanks for chiming in. Leon says there are some sideline critics that are essentially risk averse and won't ever invest locally that get seriously vexed when other are brave enough to invest and win in Jamaica. Jamaica is only so big. Sunfest is now. Okay, I'm missing Sunfest. All right. Showed you how much I know. Sound Clash tonight. Okay. Should be a fun time. Yeah, I think there is this for sure. There's an element of this, and like it's, and what we're talking about for those that's joining is a couple of shorts that I put up recently talking about the boom that's been the economic boom that's been happening in Jamaica in certain sectors, and there being just a lot of negativity thrown at these shorts. Some of them are personal attacks at me, which it's fine. But the majority of them I'm seeing is frustration and fear, and it's relevant, and it's not something to be ignored in any small way whatsoever. And what Leon is saying here is that there is a jealousy element to it for sure. I see that too. And, I would say to those people, and I would say, and I'm putting these people in a category that they do have the capability to invest. And I would encourage them to look into it more than anything else, and not to just use this as an opportunity to hate on what is actually happening, but hey, put yourself in a position to do something about it more than anything else. And for those folks who feel disenfranchised by what's happening in Jamaica and they don't feel that they're a part of this, again, I think the best thing that we can do is to talk about that. And it's not something that I want to ignore in any way. And because, and I get this a lot too, you can't compare New York to Jamaica. But what I will say is this, like, what's happening in Jamaica, like you feeling disenfranchised, you feeling like you're being gentrified out of where you're living or something like that, like that happened in New York. Like, we have to use examples from other parts of the world to learn what is going to happen here. Like, it's happening here. Like, there is no question that it's happening here. And if we just ignore other parts of the world and say Jamaica is this unique place and that's not going to happen, it's not relevant, it's a foolish thing to do. And so, and I don't engage in these people on the internet who are saying these things and who want to kind of remain narrow-minded. However, I just want to explain to this, and I'm obviously very much, probably, I'm assuming I'm preaching to the choir here, but it's important that we learn from other countries and other situations around the world so we can make adjustments in our decision-making models and our decision-making processes here, so we don't disenfranchise like a large portion of our population, or we start focusing on them for now, which I do believe the government is doing. Honestly, I do believe that they are focusing on housing, affordable housing. Could it be at a faster rate? Yes, absolutely. But I don't think it's something that people are completely ignoring. That the powers that be are completely ignoring. But nonetheless, I do want to make this part of the, something that we continue to speak about, and that we don't leave the average Jamaican out. Like, definitely don't want to do that at all. El McIntyre says the ones who complained are the ones who live overseas, the ones that say they are not coming back because of violence. Every country need investment to grow. Jamaicans will work in these places. I see that a lot too. Like, I think even today somebody put out that, oh, I'd rather invest my money in Africa. I'm like, gosh, sure, go ahead. Sure, go ahead. Like, but Jamaica is moving forward, and if you violence and all that, it's just like it's happening. We don't ignore it here on this channel by any means. We address it. We talk about it. But if you want to allow that for you to put like a blocker in your mind not to invest here, yeah, I guess you can go ahead and do that as well. But it's to your own demise. I mean, at least I wouldn't say demise, but to your own. You're just missing out on a financial opportunity, and I truly believe that. Fab Z, thank you so much for becoming a channel member. Thank you. Really appreciate that. Like, trust me, these channel memberships go so far. It really does help to sustain the channel. Every little dollar helps, and I really appreciate you becoming a channel member. I also want to state, I've been meaning to say this on a live streams, but I've been forgetting. So for ThropX, for the virtual tickets. So if you become a channel member, I think November, October, September, August. So if you become August, September, October. So if you become a channel member by August, then you can get, I think we're taking $50. I think it's $50 off of the virtual tickets price for ThropX. So if you're a channel member up, you have basically about a month. I'm going to announce it again on Sunday. If you become a channel member, then you'll get a $50 discount, and it doesn't matter what level that you choose. You automatically get a $50 discount off of the ThropX virtual tickets. So thank you very much, Fabzy. Really appreciate that. Fabzy says, live live from Aldershot, UK. Doing King's duty. Saw you 3 weeks ago at Travelers. However, didn't get the chance to chat. Next time. Okay, would love to have said hello. Thank you so much for staying with us, Fabzy. Really appreciate it. Leon, listen. A USDA retiree bought half-built half moon renovations for 150,000 US. Did nothing but sit on it. Just cashed out for 250,000 US based on the lot's location. Now that there's the boom. Yeah, and it continues. You know, we had Mr. Frith, Kevin Frith from the real estate, the development, I forget, Suncoast Beach Club development in St. Thomas. He was on a couple of weeks ago, a live stream, came in studio, and we talked, I mean, I don't want to beat a dead horse here, but we talked about the new highway that's there and the applications that he's having. He has like over, I think, 500 applications for 138 lots. And he's saying people are saying it's expensive. And I know from here in Negril, over even at Little Bay Country Club, I remember thinking they were peak construction. I thought they were very expensive, and now it's over double the price. So what you're saying here is very true. I've seen this time and time again, and I think the same thing is going to happen at Suncoast in St. Thomas. Oh, McIntyre says a lot of places in Jamaica needs to be gentrified. Maybe we will get rid of the garrisons, and I do hope that these garrisons we get rid of them, but the folks that are living in them, that they get put into housing that they can be proud of and that they can raise their family in. And that is my hope for a lot of these places and a lot of these garrisons and a lot of these ghettos that they have here. And Ms. Cole, you kind of essentially saying, addressing my concern. So where do the people that go that live in the garrisons? And that really is the government's responsibility in a big way. And I say this all the time about Negril. We have a humongous squatting community that is continuing to grow here. And it's very rare that I really point and blame the government for something. And I'm just not that type of person. But that is one thing that I will say, that is their fault. They've allowed these communities to balloon and balloon and balloon. And now it's just more, to me, you're increasing your responsibility as a governing body to figure out where you're going to put all these people eventually, because it is not their land that they own. And much of the land that they're sitting on is very valuable land, at least the ones that I'm thinking about in my head. And you can't just kick these people out. Some of these people have been there like 10, 20 years. And yes, it's government land owned by UDC and everything like that. But what are you going to do? You can't just kick them out. You have to do something. And it has now become your responsibility because you have allowed them to stay there for X amount of decades at this point. And so wherever you put them, it has to be way better than where they are right now. My personal opinion. But if you're not doing, there needs to be and should be a plan in place of like stifling the growth of these squatting communities, or else it's going to continue to just grow out of control. EB1 says, I'm working for years in Jamaica, paying my NHT, and I still don't own a home. And I work in the tax office as a security officer for a company, King Alarm, security guard. We're not making nothing. Real, I mean, I don't know your situation, obviously, and EB1, I appreciate you sharing your situation. We did a few months back, we did a live stream with my team called "Is the Jamaican Dream Dead?" and essentially addressing the concern that EB1 here has about the affordability of a home for the average Jamaican. And I don't know this, and I'm not going to make any assumptions here, but what we found and we also put out a survey particularly of young people trying to getting an idea, young Jamaicans getting an idea of whether they felt they would be able to afford a home in their lifetime. And many of them said yes, but what we found was that there was a level of ignorance in terms of understanding the process, requirements, etc., for getting a loan from the bank in combination with NHT. Now, EB1, I would say, and I don't know where you live or anything, and I'm not even going to ask you to disclose that, but one of the conclusions that we kind of came to was that like the affordability is there for many people, but it may not be the affordability that you are looking for in terms of location. So obviously getting a home in downtown Kingston, not downtown Kingston, maybe uptown Kingston, excuse me, is affordable for many, many people, myself included. But maybe you can get something outside of Kingston that would be affordable. You may have to travel, if you work in Kingston, that is, you may have to have a longer commute. But that's kind of the way, the way things have been, and I'm not saying it's right. And again, going back to the New York analogy, same thing. Most people can't afford to live in Manhattan, and most people are living on the outskirts and have to commute, especially if you're working there. And if you're, say, a essential worker, that you're commuting probably an hour to get to work, 45 minutes to an hour outside of the city because the rents are just so much higher there in the central part of the city. So EB1, like I would say from my perspective, if you want that white paper, I'd be more than happy to send it to you, kind of give you an idea on what the breakdown is of getting a home loan. And it really comes down to, also, this is like I would say banking 101, mortgage 101, particularly here in Jamaica. It all comes down to showing your ability to be able to pay the monthly mortgage, right? And there's a bunch of calculations that go into that. And we go into great detail in that white paper. So EB, hit me up, shoot me an email, throp@thropmedia.com, and I'll send it right off to you. And maybe this will help. Maybe it'll help. I'm not sure, but it's a piece of information maybe that can kind of put you over the edge. Or perhaps I think, and another big takeaway from that white paper that we put out was at least it gives you an idea of what you have to work towards making, showing on a piece of paper to say afford a $3 million home, $4 million home, up to $12 million, $18 million home. And everybody is in a different stage, different phase of their life to try and afford, different types of accommodations. All right, moving on. Leon, the Government Planning Council doesn't keep up with birth rates, plus capture land is political too. I've heard that before. I will not get into that, but I know exactly what you're talking about, Leon. Al McIntyre, put in the mixed neighborhoods when you put do many poor people in one place, nothing changes. They will be finding. I heard about this. They'll be finding $1.7 million to go see Chris Brown. Can you elaborate on that, Errol? I think I saw this like a ticket. I saw this. This is crazy. But this also goes to show you like how much money is actually here. We can hop into this real quick. I know this is like pop culture. Not really gossip, but so it's on Loop News. This came out July 19th, yesterday, and we can never find the author on these Loop articles. Anyway, let's read through it quickly. As ticket sales begin for American R&B singer Chris Brown's concert in Jamaica set for August 27th, there is still talk among social media users about the price tag, which ranges from $6,975 to $1.55 million to attend his Under the Influence show at the National Stadium in Kingston. One social media user quipped, we're going to translate to English. I will be able to have a bottle of wine with Jesus and the 12 disciples in Skyview. According to details provided by the organizers, the pre-sold ticket price of 1.55 million, 10,000 US dollars grants access to one of 12 Skyview suites. The show also offers elevated cabana suites for 5,000 US dollars or 775,000 Jamaican dollars, bleacher tickets at 45 US or $6,975 Jamaican, grandstand tickets for 75 US or 11,000 Jamaican, Blue View VIP access 27,000 Jamaican or 175 US, and Green VEW, maybe VVIP access, which is 275 US or 42,000 Jamaican, and Indigo Ultra VIP tickets at 73,000 Jamaican or 475 US. However, it is the 1.55 million price tag that captured the attention of Jamaicans on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and TikTok. Speaking of Loop News, on Tuesday, Judith Bodley of Burke Bodley Limited said, as one of the biggest global music influencers, Jamaica is about top-tier entertainment, whether locally or internationally. As such, we bring brands like Chris Brown to Jamaica, said Bodley, who is part of the organizing team for BZR Weekend, Bizarre Weekend, slated for Kingston from August 25th to 27th, and for which the Chris Brown Show is the final event. Now, we know that Chris Brown's cost is, and when he comes to Jamaica, he doesn't charge any less. She explained that there are several ticket tiers, so anyone who wants to attend can find a ticket tier that's acceptable for them with a viewing experience that's acceptable for them. When you put out the structure of how the stadium will be, you will see that every patron, whether they are in the bleachers or they are in the Skyview, will be comfortable with what it is they have gotten, she told Loop Entertainment. Other activities planned for BZR Weekend include the invitation of Only Hot Monday Jamaica 25. Okay, just talking about that. Anything else we want to bring? This is just kind of advertising it. Okay, for those interested in here we go. Let's go. For those interested in the Sky View access, they will receive 12 all-inclusive Ultra VIP tickets for Chris Brown's show, 12 VIP BZR weekend passes to Member Dis, Rise and Toast Brunch and Indigo, 4 on-site VIP parking passes, expedited entry, dedicated express lane, BZR souvenirs, and a dedicated hostess plus 5 premium bottles, chasers, and ice. That's it? 5 premium bottles? Man. Anyway, the buyer will also have dedicated private security and ultra VIP all-inclusive culinary experience and access to executive VIP bathrooms. I mean, is that really that bad? We'll get to the comments in a second, but I'll it doesn't sound terrible. Like it's interviewed 12 all-inclusive passes. So anyway, those are going to sell. 10,000 divided by 12. That's $833 per person if you split it between 12 people. I don't know. Anyway, let's keep going. The buyer will also have dedicated security. And companies that offer loans are seemingly jumping at the opportunity to help people cop the ultimate level of access for the BZR weekend. So I just heard about this. So I don't know if people are aware of this. But let's finish reading the article. But this is apparently a big, big, big thing in Jamaica. So finishing reading the article, one Jamaican microfinancing company, eLoan Microfinancing, announced loans of $1.5 million with a 4-year repayment term for fans who want to attend the concert. The company also gained attention in 2022 when it announced loans for the Burna Boy concert, which also was held at the National Stadium in Kingston. eLoan Microfinancing is also offering a suite of party loan packages for 2023, which includes loans to attend Reggae Sumfest and Dream Weekend. Dancehall artists Dexter, Dap, TJ, and Ding Dong and Jamaican-American singer Sean Kingston will also grace the stage at the Chris Brown Under the Influence concert. The show will be Brown's first time performing in Jamaica since 2010 when he performed at Reggae Sumfest. So we'll get into the pricing of this shortly. What I found this out like a couple of weeks ago, but these microfinancing companies are financing individual tickets for people who are going to these parties. So as the article is saying, and in Dream Weekend, Chris Brown concert, you can literally go to, I don't know what their rates are. I mean, I am going to assume they are predatory because you go there and it's completely financially irresponsible. I mean, imagine going to Bank of America or Chase Manhattan and saying, look, this is a Beyonce concert and I can't afford to go, but I would like to take out a loan for $200 or $100 and pay it over time. Like, what bank is going to say that yes to that? Anyway, I think it's just crazy from the perspective of being financially responsible. And this is obviously very financially irresponsible that young people, whoever they are going there, getting these loans, getting their tickets. And it's also, from what I understand, it's not just they're getting the loans for the ticket, like they're getting a loan for the hotel, transportation, buying bottles, flossing, new clothes, like they're expensing credit card, whatever you want to call it, the entire experience for, say, a Dream Weekend, for the partying. And then you go back to work and you are working for the next however many years paying this loan off, and that party weekend or party day or concert with Chris Brown is over and done with like that. And I was like, man, this is crazy. I had no idea that this is how young folks, how they go to these parties. I'm like, what are you doing? Like, that makes no sense to me. And I mean, I wish people would talk sense into these young people. It's just like, man, you're just doing yourself a big, big disservice. I'm just curious. I'm just going to go to this loans website, this microfinancing company. I want to see what their rates are. Let's go to eLoan Microfinancing just to see. Looks like, all right, you can just, so you're seeing what I'm seeing. I think this is the company. Yeah, 876. Get a quote. All right, we got to send it. I mean, if we were within business hours, I would call right now and we can do this live, close on Saturday and Sunday. So maybe next Wednesday, let me write this down. We're going to call these microfinancing company and see what's really good, see what the loan is about. I'm going to have to put on my Jamaican accent to make sure they believe me. But next week, writing this down. And really see what this is about. I'm very interested to see what these rates are, but this sounds like it's very irresponsible for these individuals. Is this there? Okay. Okay. Like maybe we could see some rates here. This is their Instagram. I'm not promoting them at all. I'm just trying to see what's up here. $50,000, 6 months. I'm not seeing any interest rates here. Calling all certified employees. Oh, look, here it is. Oh, I don't want to click that because, hold on, let's see if it starts. Okay, the music is not playing good. Get a loan for $100,000, 12 months to repay $1.5 million, 4 years. This is madness. This is insane to me. Thank you, Vivacious Sunflower. This would be carelessness. Oh my gosh. I'm just like reading the comments. This is crazy. Madness, absolute madness. And I could tell you, like 100%, like that, those are gonna sell. Like those $10,000 tickets, they're gonna sell out. Guarantee, guarantee, guarantee. Anyway, let's get to the comments real quick. All right, I'll get back up to these comments in a second. I just want to see if we have anything relating to the Chris Brown situation. It's perfectly imperfect says Chris is mad and his performance haven't been great for a good long while. I'll spare you, save your money, and don't go sit in the bleachers. No way am I gonna go to that. I'm okay. I'm a Chris Brown fan, but not that big of a fan, I guess. The 1.5 million is a 12 Ultra VIP. It's corporate VIP suite package. This is a prime example of people being outraged for stuff beyond their pockets. Put your basket where you can reach as let it be. I agree, and I don't think like $10,000 split amongst 12 people, like I said, is $833. You get a lot of value for that. I don't think that like that is like a crazy outrageous price. Honestly, it's big for Jamaica. It's a big price for Jamaica, but for $800 to get Skyview seats, I mean, there are basketball games that will cost you more than that. Like if you go to like a run of the mill basketball game. Like I went to a Knicks game. We were in the 300 level and we paid $300. This was last season. Like me and my friends. These are $300 tickets. And this was just a regular season. I don't even remember who we were playing. The seats were terrible. And I mean, they were half court, but they weren't that great. Same thing. Did a Jets game. I always go to at least one Jets game every winter, every football season. Last tickets we got, they were decent seats, but they were like $400. These are like this is not no performer. This is not no Chris Brown, like Beyonce. Like these are regular sports seats. Again, I understand different market and everything like that for sure, but to get like this ultra VIP experience, express this, like to me, the value is there. Would I pay it? No, I don't. I don't find any value in that. I wouldn't do that. That's just not me. That's not my thing. But I also like even with like the Jets game and the basketball game, like in regular day-to-day life, I don't do anything. Like I don't go out, I don't drink. I'm like literally home, work, I run. I spend most of my money probably on running attire. And when I do travel, like, but that's about it. So like my money is not going towards like I'm not spending money on alcohol, like even like one beer. And like, I'm not saying this to judge anybody, but like I don't even have like even one beer a week or a glass of wine or anything like that. So like when I do something, like I like to do it at a level that I'm comfortable with, and that I will spend my money that I quote unquote have saved from not spending it on things that on frivolous things. Would I take a loan out for any of this? Like, absolutely not. Not even a credit card loan. Like, that's just wouldn't do it. Just wouldn't do it. Miss Perfectly Imperfect says, not worth it. Don't get me started on burner. Simone, that's crazy. And then they complain they cannot survive in Jamaica. Yeah. I don't know if it's the same people saying this, but you can't, like, there's no way that can be the same person saying they can't survive in Jamaica that's taking a loan out to go to a party. And this is not just like big party weekends. This will be for like a promoted party in a community or something like that, that people will go out and get a loan for this specifically. And I'm just like, man, this is insane. Like, there has to be, a personal fun. I'm sure they know better. I would like to think that young people know. Actually, young people don't know better. And I say this because, and like, I guess I can't judge too hardly. So this is me. I think I was my freshman year in college, and I know everybody's going to get at me for this, but this is true story, hand on my heart. Freshman year in college, they had these, and this was predatory as well. You're poor, don't have a lot of money. You're just trying to make it through. And my freshman year, I didn't have a job. I got my first job my sophomore year, and I worked right throughout college after that. And so my dad was sending me an allowance, which just wasn't enough money for college. But I went to they had this credit card sign up at the gas station across the street from my college. And you just sign up for the credit card and you get a 6-inch Subway sandwich from the gas station, and Subway's at the gas station. And so, and then they had these girls there, and they're like, oh, you don't even have to take it. You just sign up, and then you just cancel it right away, and it's over. But you get this 6-inch, not even a foot long Subway sandwich. You got a 6-inch. And so I did this like 3 or 4 times. I'm not even kidding. That I went back because they were there like for a few weeks, and I just kept signing up for credit cards to get 6-inch sandwiches because I was so hungry. Like, I literally hungry, and like, this is all I got to do, put my information down, and I get a sandwich. Like, no problem. Again, not even a 12-inch, not even a foot long. Ridiculous. Anyway, I didn't feel the consequences of this. So this is probably like I was 18, 19 at the time, maybe. I didn't feel the consequences of this until I was like 23, 24, when I totally forgot that I had these credit cards on my credit profile. And years later, and I see this, I was like, what are these credit cards? And I was just like, oh my gosh. And it killed my credit. Like, it killed my credit because I was looking for, and those of you know that about credit, when you look for credit, like in a quick succession, it shows that, and your credit report keeps getting checked, it shows that essentially that you are desperate for credit, and perhaps you are not managing the credit that you were given. And I had to go back years and years later, cancel all these credit cards, and it took me years and years and years later to get my credit up to a satisfactory stage. So my point is I'm empathizing with the young people making these stupid financial decisions about getting microfinancing for going to a freaking party or a concert. No good. I mean, if you're like in your 40s and your 50s and you're doing this, or I even say even your mid 30s, like, come on, you know better. You shouldn't be doing this. But anyway, for the young people, I can empathize. I was a broke young person who was very ignorant, didn't understand the world of money, didn't understand the world of finance, and also these predatory practices of these credit card and loan companies, which are just terrible. And it put me in and luckily enough, like, I wasn't in a position, like, I didn't need credit at that time, and I had the years and the safety to kind of work my credit back up to a decent level, and it kind of never held me back. But man, imagine a young person that doesn't have that, or maybe they don't learn their lesson and they just keep putting themselves in this debt. Terrible, absolutely terrible. Anyway, my lesson learned with trading my Social Security number and just all my personal information for a 6-inch sandwich from Subway. Leon says, we as Jamaicans need to know ourselves. If Your $6,750 ticket person, that's you. If you're a $75,000 ticket person, that's cool too. We've lost our way as a society. Know thyself. Agreed. Donna Bryce says, definitely not worth it, but showing there is money in Jamaica. So that was the other point that I wanted to bring up. And for those just joining, we're talking about the $1.5 million, what did I say? $1.5 million price tag for tickets for a Chris Brown concert that's coming up in August. And we're talking also about the microfinancing companies that are existing out there that are giving out loans to individuals who want to go to this concert but can't afford it. Madness. And I kind of just discovered that this is a big thing in Jamaica, that many people do this. They go for these microfinancing loans and they take them out just to go out and party on one night and end up having to pay them off over many months or even many years. So that's just kind of where we are. And so, yeah, to Donna's point, this also tells me, and I've been saying this, there is so much money in Jamaica. Like, I bet you like one person is going to buy those VIP tickets for $10,000 US, and they're just going to bring their friends and say, hey, come have a good time. $10,000 is nothing to like a lot of people in Jamaica. I'm telling you, like, you'd be surprised. You'd be surprised like how much money is here. And like, it's so, like, I don't know where to put Jamaica. Like, I don't think Jamaica is a poor country. There are a lot of poor people here, for sure. But the wealth is just not evenly displaced. Like, that's the thing. You know, it's very concentrated, but you can also say what country doesn't have this. And I don't know where Jamaica falls in that spectrum of the difference between the wealth gap that we have here. I know the US is like phenomenal, like in terms of the richest people and the poorest people. Like, I think the US has the widest gap. I don't know where Jamaica is on that spectrum, but like, that's the problem. Like, so collectively, I like when I say there is money in Jamaica, there is money in Jamaica. I mean, we're putting out tickets, concerts, social events for $10,000. Apartments that we're talking about, like even Kevin Frith, he's talking about the phase 2 of the development in St. Thomas, Suncoast Beach Club. I think the starting price for the villa was like $3 million or 2 point something 5 million. These are homes. These are regular homes, and it just goes to show you. And like, I'm that's probably going to be a lot of Jamaicans who buy those homes. So there's money in Jamaica. I think that's the point here. Leon says, I remember the payday loans epidemic while I was in the States. They got a lot of people in trouble. Yep, I remember that. And Donna Bryce says, living above your means was perfectly imperfect. Says, trying to look rich is more costly in the long run. Rich and wealthy people don't think like this. Absolutely. Simone says, predatory lending. I believe that as well. And in Phoenix, the mayor called them the $20,000 people because their lifestyles didn't match their earnings. Government had to intervene. The microfinancing industry was quickly overhauled. I don't know what's going to happen with that here, but crazy. Miss Perfectly Imperfect says, those expensive seats and suites are usually paid for by big corporations. I love concerts and sports, but I'm not spending $800 US to see anyone. Same. Ms. Cole says, I think the last bigger arena concert I saw was Sade on Long Island. These tickets were like $55. Sade, I would love to see her in person. Mikey T speaks, escapism is a major market. People do it all over the world. Millions take credit card loans to come to Jamaica and spend more. Yeah, I believe that. Most I ever spent was about $400 for a boxing match at Madison Square Garden. So yeah, Madison Square Garden has like always been expensive, right? Ridiculous. Ms. Cole says, I'm interested in what happens if you can't pay in 4 years and what the requirements for the loans. Good question. Maybe next week when we call them, we can find out, like, do you have to kind of give up some sort of collateral or something like that? You know what it is? Sorry, that's the thing that I realized is when the system was explained to me is that you have to have a full-time job and your wages are garnished. So it's actually your employer is paying these microfinancing companies. That's the way it works. I forgot to mention that's a key point. So it's not like I think that's a qualifying factor. So I remember we did this, man, it must have been it's got to be close to 15 years ago. So there was, and I never knew the term microfinancing. So there was this company, and I don't know if they're existing now, called Cool Oasis. Does anybody remember them, or if they still exist? I'm like looking them up right now. No, it looks like they got rid of that brand. So this is but they had Cool Oasis loans, and I'm trying to see if they still have it. It doesn't look like they do. But anyway, they had Cool Oasis loans, and so they came in and they pitched this to us as a benefit that we can give to our employees. And we did it, and a couple of people took out loans, and then we used to pay Cool Oasis every month, take the money out of our employees' checks and pay them a check over every month. Now, the key question is, what happens if that employee is either fired or they quit? Then who is liable at that point? So that would be my follow-up question to that. All right, let's keep going here. Miss Perfectly Imperfect says, this is why financial literacy is so important. I was warned about those credit cards in middle school. That stuck with me to this day. I mean, I wish I learned that. Somebody told me that before I went to college. And maybe I knew better, but I was also very hungry. This is talking about the 6-inch Subway sandwich that I got for an exchange to get a free credit card. The least I could have done was like put down fake information, right? Fake social security. Like, there's no way they would check. It was like literally filling out a form, and like silly, innocent, naive me filled out all of my correct information, and no, obviously, just was not worth it. Was not worth it. Miss Cole says, they got me one time though. I can't lie. In Macy's in college, sign up for a credit card to get a discount. Yeah, I actually did. I get one in credit. I had a Macy's credit card at one point, but I canceled it. Not worth it. I did the same thing for the discount. Leon Newton says they were across from John Jay College. Our dean warned us against in his welcome speech. I wish my dean did that. They were right across from Albany. Miss Cole, I paid that thing off so fast and closed that credit card. Talking about Macy's. Good for you. Excel says they used to have credit cards out like candy at university and colleges in Canada. They had to ban it because so many kids went into debt. Yeah, I don't think they're allowed that anymore either, because you just don't know as a young person and what that does to you. And like, these corporations do not care about you at all. They just want to get you in the system, and they want to have you paying these things off forever and paying these interests. So, and that's the game. That's the game. Freedom says, I plan to start a stock trading school to help people make real money free of charge. I think that's a great initiative. Good for you. And it says, oh, the irony is thick. Sadly, it's easier to get a party loan than it is to get a mortgage loan. Preach. That's crazy, right? That's so true. They give you these predatory loans like with little to no information, and you're good to go. But mortgage paperwork is like that thick. Julie for Justice says, I used to be a big concert goer, too expensive in Canada for big name acts. Yep. Miss Cole, oh my gosh, no, that's crazy. Mikey T speaks, how do we as a society get more financial literacy programs throughout the country to help understanding of loans in general? I agree. As we talk about making education more of a priority, specifically in Jamaica and this country, that has to be part of the curriculum. And these are to me, these are the initiatives that we should be focusing on, also alongside the infrastructure of the school. So like, the roads to the school itself, the separation of classrooms, the ratio of teacher to students. I mean, all of these things, we haven't even gotten into the fundamentals of the curriculum either, outside of the financial literacy. But I mean, there's so much reform that's needed in education, I believe, in Jamaica. And I think we're just lacking the environmental education, I think, is also very important. And we can go on and on and on. But I think this stuff has to happen outside the school. And it's not unique to Jamaica. And I've mentioned this prior. I felt the same way about my own personal financial literacy. Like growing up, like we didn't have any financial literacy throughout school. Like the only financial literacy that I started to receive was in college. And that's when I started taking accounting and finance courses. But most of my personal financial literacy, I learned myself post-college, taught myself about credit. My dad never believed in loans of any sort, never believed in credit cards, doesn't have one, never had one as far as I knew growing up. And there's good and bad that comes with that. But my point is, I never was taught how to leverage money in any way. I never was taught how to manage credit. I had to learn that all on my own. I didn't know about the credit system. I didn't learn about FICO. Nobody taught me that. I had to go out and learn it myself. One of the best books that I ever read, and I always recommend this to young people, and I'm not sure if it's still relevant, but it's the Money Book for the Young, Fabulous, and Broke by Susie Orman. That was my first financial literacy book that I read probably when I was 22 or 23 years old. And that really set me on a course. And then like the most modern, up-to-date book about that, alongside that, is I Will Teach You to Be Rich by Ramit Sethi. Great, both incredible books. I think I've read that. I think I read that book physically, and I also listened to the audiobook. It's like one of those books that's worth reading almost annually, or at least every 2 years. Like really, really great financial information, and just kind of reinforces principles of wealth building into your day-to-day living. And he's like one of his famous lines is like, "I'm not here to teach you to become wealthy by not spending money on lattes." Like that's not his approach. That's kind of a thing that he says. But great book, great financial literacy book. But like a lot of those principles in those two books, they should be taught in school, because man, we sometimes set ourselves and set our young people up really for failure. And there's a lot of pitfalls that can be avoided. And I think I don't know if it was Miss Cole or Miss Perfectly Imperfect, they was talking about they got taught that lesson about credit cards in middle school, and they've avoided a lot of hurt, a lot of hurt in the future. And it's just like that one piece of information could just completely change the financial trajectory of a young person for the rest of their life if we provide it to them. So I like the way you're thinking, Mikey. Nick says the Fix podcast recently posted a conversation with CEO of Microfinance Limited. Predatory is an understatement. The Fix podcast. Oh, is that? Hold on. Let me see if I know that one. I think I know that podcast. Oh, yeah, this one. Okay, yeah. I know. I'm just going to show you guys. So this podcast. I'm trying to find. I'll watch that eventually. I'll watch that one eventually, but I'll take your word on it, Nick. Rich Dad Poor Dad. Yeah, this is a good one. Like my dad always recommended this book as well. Great book. Leon says, when is the ThropX homecoming event? It's been a while since you spoke about it, doing a marathon. So yeah, ThropX is November. I guess we can talk about that. I just want to show the opening of Saturday just for the people who are coming in. So we started talking about the podcast with Maura coming out on Saturday, talking about real estate in Jamaica specifically, more specifically about real estate in the West and the South here in Negril and South Coast Jamaica. And I showed the cold opening for Saturday's podcast earlier. I'm just going to show it again, and then we're going to get into ThropX.
I'm seeing a lot of international investors coming in. I have a group, Italian group, and they have 10 hotels in the DR in Mexico, and now they're going to have one in Jamaica. They were approved for 800 rooms in Green Island. I sold them which was over 70 acres. We have aqueducts. You can still get something around 200. Point Village, 180 for a studio. But a few years ago, you could get a studio for 50,000. So the prices have really jumped.
All right. So that's Saturday's drop, Saturday afternoon. I believe we're doing it at 12 o'clock. I'll probably upload, get it uploaded tomorrow. Marie says, anything Susie Orman is good. Agreed. All right, so moving into ThropX. So that's from November 10th to November 13th to November 17th. And you can get more information at thropx.com and also sign up for the newsletter if you haven't already. Want to make some announcements as far as that's concerned. So we have a few partner hotels that we're working with that we just got signed up that I'm very excited to talk about. And we're going to be getting out their ads hopefully on Sunday, but if not, probably the following week. But we are partnering with both Shirella Inn and also Negril Treehouse, which are two great small hotels here in Negril. And they are providing us with discounted rooms. And Shirella is, I believe, 30% discount. Yep. Let me just make sure. And then we're also getting discounted rates from Negril Treehouse as well. So we're going to get up the advertisement. We're going to get up these ads over the weekend. So we'll get these up for Sunday's live stream so everybody is aware. And it's just awesome that we're getting like this, getting a lot of support from the community here and the girl community that is, and getting the hotel support, which is awesome. And like, big shout out to both Shirella Inn and also Negril Treehouse. Again, they are great locally owned small hotels that I'm very happy and very proud to be working with and also to be supporting. And so for those that I don't think we're like everybody's not, we still have rooms here at Travelers, but we won't have enough for everybody. Like there's no question about that. We just don't have that capacity. And so if you are thinking about coming to ThropX, I would encourage you to reserve your rooms. That's probably the most important. I mean, get your tickets too, but you want to reserve your rooms as soon as you can. And once we do run out of the inventory that we have set for Travelers, then we have two great hotels, Shirella Inn and also Negril Treehouse, and they're not far. So don't go crazy if you don't stay at Travelers. Like that's not a big deal. I'm just going to show you the map. So just so you're aware. So this is Travelers. Oops. This is This is Travelers here. Showing the southern part of the beach. And then Shirella Inn is, I want to say a little above a mile up the beach. Man, I swear these names are not in like the correct spot. Here, this is Shirella Inn right here. And then both properties are right on the beach. They both have nice rooms. I wouldn't say it's walkable, so we will figure out transportation. So that's Shirella Inn. And then we will go up. We'll go up to Negril Treehouse. Where are we? Where are we? Right here. This is Negril Treehouse right here. So not too far. Literally, we'll just do a shuttle, pick you all up, probably start at Treehouse, and then come down to Shirella, and then we will drop you off, have you dropped off at Travelers, which is where all the action is happening. So no big deal at all if you don't get there, get your hotel. But again, I would definitely encourage people, please book your rooms as early as you possibly can. So if you do want to stay at Travelers, you can. Or if you want to stay at if you don't want to stay at Travelers and you want to stay at Negril Treehouse and that's your hotel, or you want to stay at Shirella Inn, I definitely encourage you to do that as well and use the preferred rates that they gave us, which I really, really, again, I do appreciate them doing that for us. So that is ThropX. We're working diligently on it in terms of getting people to come, and I'm gonna canvas the crowd on Sunday, that everybody on a live stream on Sunday. But let me know what you all think. Like the one subject that I said this before, that I've gotten this year more than any other year in terms of inquiries, is people wanting to know and understand what the process is for staying in Jamaica for an extended period of time beyond the normal travel tourist visa, the 3 to 6 months. So 3 months that you get automatically, and then you can extend with application. You can extend an additional 3 months, making up 6 months out of the year. Excuse me. And so, unlike any year that I've gotten before, any other year, this has been like the number one thing that people have been reaching out to me on Instagram, email. What is the process? Basically, asking me about immigration law. And so we are reaching out to PICA and another agency, which I forget. But my question to you all is that I want to ensure that this is applicable to this community, right? To everybody who's thinking about coming, or maybe you're going to be watching virtually. Like, is this something that you would like to do? If you would like to learn more about, so learning more about immigration law, visas, and that sort of thing. Please let me know. I'm going to write this down for Sunday so I don't forget. And as far as the speakers that we have coming, it's definitely going to continue to be a real estate heavy investment conference, because overwhelmingly this is what people are interested in. They want to understand, even from the most basic level, like, what is the process? How do I buy a home? What do I need to qualify for a loan? Who are the players? What are the different institutions? What are the different rates? Like this is like nonstop. Like, this is like what everybody wants to know. Everybody wants to understand, how much do I have to have saved up? What are the monthly payments going to be? What do I get for this amount of money? So overall, without question, this continues to be one of the main things. And then also, people are looking for deals. So they are looking for an understanding of what is out there, both commercially and also residential. I keep getting these, and then please correct me if I'm wrong, or if you want to chime in on something else that I'm not hitting on. But this continues to be the feedback that I am receiving and the team is receiving, that a big part of the information that people are looking for is they're looking for deals, and then they're also looking for a deep understanding of like how this world of real estate mortgage, real estate law works in Jamaica, and who is going to be able to help me, who can help me with these things, and who are trusted individuals that I can speak to directly, who are transparent, who know what they're talking about, who have experience, and that ultimately I can trust. So these are the people that I'm bringing to ThropX, and these are the people that I'm bringing to the forum. And again, that's probably going to be that's the lion's share, I would say, of a lot of things that that we're going to be talking about in the panels and the people that we have coming. And then also a lot of thinking about safety and security and that sort of thing. A big one is, like, I've been also getting a lot of, I think we even up until Sunday, somebody asked a question: is it safe for a single female to come to visit Jamaica? Is it safe for a single female to move to Jamaica? What am I going to do as a single female? Like, that sort of thing. And so I realized, like, this is what it is. Like, these are the type of questions, and also understanding the demographic of people who are most interested here. We are going to provide, or have been providing, speakers that speak to that, and that can speak from a position of experience, who live here, who work here, who call Jamaica, who call Negril their home. And for individuals, whether you're, again, on the live stream, buying a virtual ticket, or you come here in person, like, you'll have direct access to speaking to these individuals, and again, getting a good sense of what their story is and what their lifestyle is. So I think a lot of people got so much value out of that. Especially, we had a panel, and this was very impromptu. We had an impromptu panel on I forget what we called it, but it was essentially 3 young ladies that had migrated to Jamaica within the last 5 years, 3 to 5 years or something like that. And they would just told their story about how they did it, what their lifestyle is like. Some of them are partnered relationships, some of them are single, and I think a lot of people really enjoyed hearing from them directly and hearing about their story. So we'll have elements of that, and even retired individuals as well, who are coming to talk about their experience of moving here, also the decision-making process of retiring in Jamaica. And so this is I would say the gist. The last thing, I will get into comments in a moment. One adjustment that we have made up until today. So part of the itinerary is the Thursday. So we're having an all red dinner, and then we're doing a night out on the town. But we're turning the Thursday into an actual networking event. And the idea is, and we just made this adjustment today, and I think this is fabulous. Credit to essentially Candice, I would say. I'll give Candice the credit for this one. So we're turning the Thursday night out on the town, a portion of it, we're going to do 2 to 3 hours of a networking event that we're inviting different people from the business community to a location that I would love to announce, but I haven't confirmed it yet. But I will say it's a popular. I think I already said it in a previous live stream, actually, but I haven't confirmed the networking aspect of it. But we are going to do at this location. It's a popular location here in Negril, and we're going to do a networking event. So I plan to bring in people who are not directly involved in the conference, and perhaps maybe not even speakers at the conference, but it's an opportunity for everybody at the conference to network with people in the Negril community, from all, I would say, all walks of life. And I'm going to use my personal network to bring to this networking event, so you all can meet these individuals. And I think it's so important. And when you think about the idea or the consideration of, you moving to another country and uplifting your home and your life from, say, the United States or Canada or Europe, and you're coming to Jamaica, maybe Jamaica from when you were growing up, but you're coming here and you haven't lived here in a long time, or maybe you've never lived here at all. But imagine having already started or set up a network of friends, a network of colleagues that have been established from this conference. And so that happened last year. Very serendipitously, where people are still friends and still in contact even to this day, and even looking to do partnerships with each other. So imagine you have people who live here and are already a part of the community before you get here. And so we figure Thursday is a great opportunity to do that. Again, invite people to this very popular place in Negril, and that I have yet to confirm, that we will figure out, and we will network there. We'll be people in the community. And then after that networking event, then we're going to go off to our night on the town, which we're going to be going to the only nightclub in Negril, which is the Jungle. So that's the idea for the Thursday. I think that's fabulous, and I think it's another way. Like I want ThropX to continue to be an event that is very much supported by the community and benefits the Negril community in a big way, And to me, this is one of the ways of doing it, and it's symbiotic, that the community members get to meet individuals who have this vested interest and very, very much want to be a part of Jamaica and want to move here, want to invest here, and they get to meet those people, and the people who are coming here for the conference, they get to meet the different players and different community members on this Thursday evening. So I think that's going to be, I think it's a great addition to the itinerary that we already had laid out. All right, let's move over to the comments here. Okay, this is confirming, yes, applicable to me for sure. This is, I think, PICA we were talking about, and immigration law in Jamaica. Miss Perfectly Imperfect says, I think it's a great idea and very relevant. Thank you. Julia for Justice says, real estate heavy is good with me. Exactly. Julia for Justice, I was a white girl in a car alone in Jamaica. I'll leave it. I'll leave that comment at that. I'll leave that comment at that. Errol McIntyre, I'm not sure the context here. Rent a Dread. I'm not sure if that's a subject that you want us to talk about at the ThropX, but I don't think that's going to be a subject that we're going to be bringing up all. And Shayna Love Coaching says, that's a brilliant idea. Thanks, Candice. I will. All right. I think we're going to leave it. I know I said I had an article. You know what? Maybe we bring it up on Sunday. I will just leave it here for you all to take a look at. So this is from the Financial Times. I put it in the comment section there. I'm going to close out. It's getting a little late for me here. I got to get up very early in the morning to train. So I got to go through my nighttime routine, dinner and all that goodness. So anyway, this is Financial Times. I love the Financial Times. I think it's one of the best finance publications that are out there. So seeing Jamaica in the FT, I think is always kind of awesome. So Jamaica, we have CBDC. The BOJ is jam-dexing and hope citizens like jam-dexing too. So we're going to save this for Sunday, and I just don't want to rush through it. It's obviously a very detailed article, and I think that there are a lot of good things here to discuss. But anytime we brought this up, Jamaica going cashless, there has been controversy in the comments. So I want to leave room for this controversy. So we were going to be saving this for Sunday's discussion. Shayna Love Coaching says, I'm glad you learned your lesson not to sell your birthright for a 6-foot Subway sandwich. Right. If it was a 1 foot, 12-inch Subway sandwich, maybe, right? But no, lesson learned. I wish I was reading the Financial Times, but I wasn't at that level at that time. So anyway, I think we're going to leave it right there for the Thursday live stream. Just as a reminder, so we won't be doing a live stream next Thursday. We will be doing it on Wednesday instead, because I'm traveling on Thursday and there won't be a Sunday live stream next week either, but we will be back this week. So let me not confuse it. I will see you all on Sunday, 12 o'clock live stream. Pretty sure we're going to be on the beach, and we will discuss this FT article on Sunday for sure. Again, I don't want to rush through it too much, and we will leave it at that. Thank you all so much for joining this Thursday live stream. I hope you enjoyed it. I know I did, and happy to be back streaming twice a week. And I also really like doing the stream here because it's just so easy. All I got to do is plug in my mic. My camera's already set up, and we just go. And so enjoy doing this. Thinking about doing this, I'm thinking about very much switching the live stream just to be doing it here in the studio, because it is such a setup. Honestly, it it's an all day, not all day thing, but it's quite a bit of work. And at the end of the day, to me, the value is in our discussion. But we'll see. We'll see how we go through that. But something that I'm considering. Wishing you all a good night. Good night to you, Karen. Good night to you, and then Miss Perfectly Imperfect. Thank you for chiming in, everybody. And I will see you on Sunday. And also, don't forget about the premiere on Saturday with my discussion with Maura Watson. Have a good evening, everyone. I'll see you on Saturday at the premiere and on Sunday on the live stream.